pandemic, but one of the industries that's been hardest hit and has really had to reinvent itself is commercial real estate. We'll be talking about that next with a thought leader on the Jeff Crilley Show.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
So the pandemic has been challenging for all of us, but let's talk about commercial real estate. Think about that. Put yourself in the shoes of the office building who now has a lot of tenants working from home. It's challenging, but here to sort this out, Greg Gordon. He is the CEO and founder of Gordon Highlander. Thank you for coming on the show.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Well, you were explaining to me off camera that there are really many different facets of the market. And it's not just office buildings. You have manufacturing. Talk about that.
Yeah, so my simplified way of explaining the different pillars in commercial real estate are office, industrial, retail, multifamily. And we all kind of understand, I think it's pretty obvious how retail's been hurt. There's a lot of questions about office and the state of the future office. I think it's a little early to kind of make the call. But the good news in the commercial real estate world is an industrial.
And talk to me about that. Why is that growing?
Yeah, so my little funny anecdote is the toilet paper event. You know, everybody understands what happened when the shortage of toilet paper hit. And it was confusing. You'd rush to the grocery store, you'd hear that the truck was coming or wasn't, and people were in a panic trying to get their hands on toilet paper, paper towels, and so there was a massive supply chain interruption. And it's just fascinating if you go back into the supply chain and you think about how manufacturing was working. Inventory used to be a bad word.
Yes.
It was all just-in-time manufacturing, and now the people that have the inventory are contemplating keeping a 1% to 3% supply around so there won't be any supply chain interruption, and that equates to millions of square foot of industrial building that needs to be built just to combat the supply chain issues.
Well, your projects are amazing. We're going to show a clip from your website. Just kind of walk us through this. I mean, you're in so many different areas. What do you think about when it comes to a client? I mean, how does the process begin?
Wow, big, broad question. I will tell you real quickly, with the pictures and the stuff that we have on our website, it's a strange confession, but I think that the best pictures never make it on there. They're the ones that are the hardest to take. And I love your intro and what you were talking about with storytelling. Mm-hmm. I think storytelling is the language of the heart. And so it all starts with the client.
And you sit down with the client for the first time. I mean, do they have their own set of ideas, or are they coming to you for advice?
We talked about this off camera too, just about how many clients there actually are. So the one thing that becomes really clear is that we're servants. We're there to serve other people. And the client takes on many forms. They could be the developer, they could be the landlord, they could be the end user. And so one of the things that makes our job so interesting is we have to gather all these inputs from all these different clients on meeting and beating expectations. But we say people come first, period. And so just really trying to put the emphasis on differentiating ourselves by the way we serve our clients.
And tell me the difference between you and other companies.
That is hard to prove. I think that we're not designed really to testify about ourselves. It's our clients' testimonies that matter. But I can tell you that I can see the hearts and minds of all the people that work at Gordon Highlander. I know their families, and we're a band of brothers and sisters, is what we like to say. And so, in a way, the way we care for each other, I think, becomes a reflection with how we care for our client.
Tell us about the name of the company.
Oh, Gordon Highlander. Wow, what a great story. I grew up in Baltimore. My grandmother worked at the Maryland Historical Society, and this was before the modern era of Ancestry.com, and she had done some amazing work tracing our family lineage back. So the Gordon clan is a very storied clan from Scotland, and in the late 1700s they formed an army. Winston Churchill said that the Gordon Highlanders were the greatest regiment that there ever was. And so the Gordon Highlanders are now called the Highlanders, and they're like the special, the British Army.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So when you were thinking about the name of the company, did that just come to you?
Yeah, you know, my father and I put the business plan together, and he's always been my greatest believer. And when companies are contemplating a brand and all the things that go into it, we just saw the family crest and all the things that already came with our name. And so we were bold about putting our name on the business. And when I was a kid, I thought that I had an army in my family.
I love that. And since you mentioned your dad, we have a little clip that we found off of Facebook. We want to roll that now.
Awesome.
It's so cool. Look, the tears. Here they come. How long are we into this? 10 minutes? Oh, but I love you, Dad. Happy Father's Day. Thank you for believing in me and showing me what that looks like.
Wow.
Oh.
Craig, I'm so glad that you share. I'm so close to my dad. He's semi-retired and living in Waco, and so I when I saw that clip, I said I need to share that with the viewer.
Yeah.
What was getting you emotional?
Golly, you know, I think I believe that the tears are like the portal to the soul, and I'm a big tough guy, you know, but I'm really a teddy bear at heart, and just expressing that deep sense of gratitude has just been modeled for me and my family, and that generosity of just believing in other people, and just, you know, I love my dad. I don't know, it's something that I just, you know, I just can't think about it without feeling a lot of really strong emotions.
That's cool. And did you start the company with your dad?
So my dad and I wrote the business plan together.
Okay.
And, you know, the one thing that my dad did for me that I think is a big part of our story is he had a spotless reputation in the marketplace. He wasn't a general contractor. He was a developer and worked for Trammell Crow Company. And so we got close to starting the business together. And I think I'm a little more entrepreneurial than my dad. And he stayed with his job, and I asked for permission to start the company, and I haven't looked back since.
He must be very proud.
Oh, man. It's incredible. Yeah. I have 4 boys, and I joke and say, I hope one of them loves me as much as I love my dad. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Or maybe all of them, you know.
Greg, I might need to end this segment before I'm in tears. You were such a great guy. Thank you for being on the show. We're going to put your website up so people can get in touch. GordonHighlander.com is the website with tears in my eyes. I am saying thank you so much for coming on the show. You're
Appreciate
awesome.
you. You
bet.
are too.
You bet.
Thank you.
That's it for now.
Okay.
We'll see you next time.